What is the #1 tip to get better at Warzone? In today's video, I asked 10 of the best Warzone players in the world to answer that exact question. And not only did they give me all different answers, but a few of them completely shocked me. Here's my question for you though. Are you actually ready to start improving? So let's go ahead and jump straight in, guys, with these 10 pro tips here. And by the way, some of these guys only play Rebirth. Some of them only play Verdansk. A lot of them do end up playing both. But regardless of what map you play, these tips are absolutely going to apply to you. Now, we're going to start this off with Knight here, one of my favorite content creators and hands down one of the best Warzone players on both Rebirth and Verdansk.
What is my #1 tip to get better at Warzone? I think if you go into a game and you identify and you pay attention to like what it is that's essentially getting you killed, and you try to apply that to your game instead of just loading in and dying and being like, oh damn, you know, like just kind of coping with it being the game's fault. If you just go in paying attention to what you do wrong, put a little bit more effort into it, I think you'll make some actual improvements. It really depends.
Watch this.
Obviously, that will vary on who has the ability to actually pay attention to what's going wrong, but
whoop. Quick fix.
Oh my gosh.
Is this Knight? Oh my god, it's actually Knight.
Like,
What's up, Knight?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
That guy said, leave me alone, bro. I think Knight brings up a really important point. You know, I see it all the time in my comments. Joe, I'm struggling to get more kills. You know, I've gotten a little bit better, but now I've hit a wall again. You have to start to understand why you're dying. And we kind of break it down into 4 things: aim, movement, positioning, and gameplay strategy. But the more you can understand why you're dying, the more you can really pay attention to what you need to focus on. Are you missing shots? Is your centering bad? Are you wandering around most games with no information and no idea where anybody is? Are you not getting loadout in most of your games? Really understand why you're dying so that you can then focus on that, start to solve that problem, and that's absolutely going to help you improve. Next up here, let's go to Joe. Obviously, Rebirth Verdansk, one of the best players. He's got a lot to say here. He's going to be a little bit harsh on you guys, but I absolutely love it.
My #1 tip to get better at Warzone, I guess it's kind of 2 things. First thing, prior to your belief, your friend's belief, your meemaws, your peepaws, your auntie, your unk, your stats do not matter.
Listen to him as to why your stats don't matter.
Way too many people play for their stats, bait their teammates, snipe on a building. Well, I have a 2 KD. Yeah, you suck at the game. Joe, no. You suck. You're playing for your stats. You're not good. Sitting on a building. Knocked. That, like, bro. You're never going to be good doing that. Your stats don't matter. The other thing is, the #1 way to improve: full send every single gunfight. Because I guarantee you, most of the people, actually I can guarantee you, almost every single person in chat, unless you're like way younger, like 12, you've been playing Call of Duty way longer than I have. I started playing Call of Duty in college. The #1 way that I got better and very fast, I'm testimony, like I'm saying this because I'm proof of this, is that I full sent every single gunfight in Blackout and got slammed over and over and over and over. Slammed. But guess what? Over and over, I got better and better and better and better because I learned how to fight and take fights and get better.
So there's a lot to break down there. And by the way, before we jump into that, after these 10 tips, I have you with 2 community member gameplay reviews, one on Rebirth, one on Verdansk, where we're going to be breaking down gameplay that is more normal gameplay. It's not like super pro gameplay, really helping that person to understand where they're struggling, what they need to improve on, as well as things that they are doing well, ultimately helping you to continue to improve as well. So there's a lot to break down there. #1, I think the KD thing is important. You know, there's absolutely a difference between a 2 KD skill level and somebody who just has a 2 KD. You can have a 7 KD by sitting on a rooftop with an HDR. That doesn't mean you're as good as a 7 KD player who's just running around. So to a certain extent, stats don't matter. I think the other big thing there is, you know, when it comes to improving, guys, if you are subscribed, we talk a lot about solo duos, which, by the way, guys, if you are looking to get better, I always say this, just give me 30 days. Subscribe down below, watch my videos. I promise you'll become a better player. And if not after 30 days, guys, you can always unsubscribe. I totally get it, but I guarantee you that is not going to happen. But I think his mentality of push everything. Now, I would say push everything strategically, right? We can push gunfights. That doesn't mean we have to become a YY TikToker in full send. We can still be in a gunfight and push gunfights aggressively, but play strategic with our decision making. Play a little bit of positioning. Then we go ahead and put pressure on enemies once we have more information or have something to work off of. So starting to push more gunfights, not playing as scared, and then we pair that together with nights where you're dropping in, you're pushing more gunfights, then you start to understand why you're dying. Now we can start to really become a better player. So next up here, I don't know who we got. We got Iceman Isaac.
There you go.
Another one that I absolutely
What
love.
this is, my number one tip for getting better at Warzone. My biggest thing would be stop playing the game thinking about how you want the lobby to play out. You need to constantly be putting yourself in the situation of your opponents and thinking based on their information, based on, you know, the actions that they're seeing, how the gas is affecting them. What, did they just crack you? Did you just crack them? Like,
Yo, can we call it truce, boys?
you need
Y'all
to
don't
be
fucking miss. I'm terrified, honestly,
preempting
truly.
their
Y'all don't forget
actions instead of focusing on, like, obviously this all comes after you can do things subconsciously, when you can aim subconsciously, when you can move subconsciously. Like, you're not focused on
Holy shit.
the base mechanics of everything.
Yep. So I think there's a really important thing to understand here, which is kind of twofold. Number one, people play predictable, right? Sweats tend to re-challenge more. They tend to play predictable. Players who are not as good and, you know, are quote-unquote bots tend to, like, sit in corners, and you can use that against them with lethals and tacticals. Really starting to understand that people play predictable. I think the second part of that that's super important to understand is obviously that aim and movement dynamic, right? Being able to do that quote-unquote subconsciously, where you're not constantly thinking about it and constantly having to worry about, okay, like, oh, I've got to pull down here, I've got to use this movement. So really working on that aim and movement so then you can start to hone in on that decision-making process. And then we start to go, okay, here's the decisions that we're going to make. The other thing that I'll add on top of that is understanding that everything we're thinking, they might be thinking as well. So I always use this when it comes to playing as a squad on Rebirth or playing as a squad, right? If you are playing duos on Verdansk or you're playing on Rebirth and your teammate dies, let's flip it around. Say you kill a guy, now you have an advantage, or you kill an enemy on Rebirth and now you have minimap pings. You're going to play that a little bit more aggressive now that you have the information. The opposite applies as well. So if I'm playing duo zone Verdansk and I'm fighting two guys and my duo goes down, they're probably going to full send me. If I'm on Rebirth and my teammate dies, I'm on minimap and those enemies are going to act off that. So always thinking about, hey, whatever I'm thinking, you know, I break a guy, I might push. Well, if I get broken, he might push me. So people play predictable, you know, and starting to think the way you think as well and kind of using that against them. Next up here, guys, we got Zyro. Absolutely love Zyro. Obviously, he's a big movement guy. But I want you to listen to what he actually says here.
What's your hashtag one tip to be to get better at Warzone? My hashtag one tip, censoring. 100%. If I was going to tell anyone to start somewhere on Call of Duty Warzone to improve, it would be centering, all right? Because centering paired with Omni movement is the two most broken things that you could pair. You know? Being able to sideward slide whilst maintaining your centering on point, like I'll show you right now. For example,
he's going to give us a really good example here of what he's talking about.
you need to use audio cues and centering all in unison. So say that you are going to chow somebody around this corner here, all right? Instead of chowing like this and then swinging to the left, being able to sideward slide with Omni movement allows you to stay centered at all times on where you think somebody's going to be. All right? Like this. So say like if somebody's challenging me to my left here, instead of going like this, you can just do this. Stay centered and shoot. That would be my number one tip.
So when we talk about centering, guys, with how fast the TTK is in Warzone, first shot in close quarters matters so much. And a lot of you guys struggling with that centering dynamic, putting your crosshairs where you think enemies are going to be. It's so important to getting that first shot off. And what he's talking about is just kind of staying square and using that Omni movement to take out that tack, sprint, and turn. So really using that Omni movement and the fact that we can slide anywhere on a clock at the press of a button, really big advantage. So really kind of focus on that centering dynamic. Going back to what Knight said, you are watching your gameplay back and you notice that you're running with your crosshairs at the ground, or you're not anticipating enemies well. That's something you definitely want to focus on. Let's go ahead and jump in. This is one that I absolutely love. This is Breadman right here, one of the top keyboard and mouse players. Let's listen to what he has to say. And this is something that not a lot of you guys think about, and honestly, I was shocked by it as well.
Six says, Bread question, what's your #1 tip to get more kills on Verdansk? Bro, I think perks are really important. I mean, running the right perks can literally just help you not die, can help you get more kills. The awareness perk is great. Bird's Eye is really good if you pop Yui's.
We talk a lot about individual perks. Listen to this next part right here.
I don't know. I would say perks. I would say, like, take a closer look at your perks and see if there's anything you could switch up. Or if you like playing with, like, a teammate, or you play quads a lot, make sure that you guys have perks that complement each other. I don't know. I'd say perks just initially is what I'm thinking right now.
So it's not as important on Rebirth, but especially on Verdansk, guys, if you're playing as a squad, starting to be strategic about your perks. Not all of you guys need to run Ghost. Not all of you guys need to run Bird's Eye. Not all of you guys need to run Temper. Not all of you guys need to run Scavenger, right? I would say all of you guys should run Tracker, because that's a really good all-around team perk. But, like, we could have one guy run Temper, two guys run Bird's Eye, one guy run Ghost. Or, you know, one guy Tempered, one guy Bird's Eye, two guys Ghost. And now if anybody pushes us, okay, we have a little bit of an advantage there. You know, maybe two guys run Scavenger, two guys run Survivor, where we can revive those guys quicker if they end up going down. I'm going to be mean for a second here. You know, maybe the guys who aren't as good and who are more susceptible to going down, you guys run Survivor so that your teammates can revive you quicker. The guys that are better and, you know, generally getting more kills, you guys run Scavenger so you're getting that extra $1,500. So individual perks are definitely important, but I think this team perk dynamic is something that not a lot of people talk about. Let's go ahead and jump in with Benny Central here, guys. Another one that I just absolutely love, really applies to Rebirth and Verdansk.
Biggest thing, my
Or two
number
guys just on
one
that bodybuilding too. Not sure how safe it is.
All good. My number one tip to get better at Warzone. I think the biggest tip is map awareness. So what I don't mean just like, oh, where bits is understand when you're moving through the map, thinking about where you can be seen from. So you never want to be just like, so it's better as an example, right? So right here, all right, let me just grab my loadout and I can explain.
He's got a really good explanation for it.
So when I'm moving through the map, I'm always thinking like, if I'm here, where can I be seen from? So I can be seen from there, I can be seen from there. And you want to minimize wherever you're moving, the amount of spots that you can be seen from. I always think of it as like little bits of string attached to you, and you want the least amount of strings attached to you at any given moment.
I think that's a huge thing, especially when we're talking about rotations. Again, Rebirth and Verdansk, like anytime that you are moving, I always talk about, if you are subscribed, limit the number of angles you can get shot from. While we talk about limiting the number of angles you can get shot from in a gunfight, you know, you gotta, when you're running around, like, you have to be head on a swivel thinking about, okay, like, I can get shot from a lot of different directions. You know, when you're rotating a little bit out in the open, you gotta know that you're super susceptible and be ready to react. Work piece of cover to piece of cover. Always think about where you're ultimately trying to get to, but more importantly, just limit those angles, limit the number of places that you can potentially go down from and get torched. Again, TTK is really fast. So if you get caught out in the open, you get caught slipping a little bit, just like that, you're dead. And then we are in that regain process having to get bought back. Let's go ahead and jump in. You guys probably know who he is. Lucky Shamu here. Absolutely love him. He's got a good one.
Lecky, a question for you. What would you say is your #1 tip to get better at Warzone? I think the most underrated tip I can give you, it comes in two, is one, stop trying to be a YY TikToker. For some reason, over the last year to year and a half, I've been seeing a lot of players spamming YY and spinning in circles for no reason. It puts you at the biggest disadvantage ever. If you try to quit that bad habit of playing on a high sensitivity that you can't control your recoil on and spamming YY when you don't need to, you will improve 2x your already gun skill and player. And the second tip I got you, I'm giving you two here, Cup of Joe. I'm giving you two here. When you play the game, find out what you suck at and then work on that specifically the next time. A lot of times I see people play and they're like, how do I get better? I'm like, what do you suck at? And they said, I don't know, I just suck. You gotta suck at something. If you played soccer and I said, yo, I suck at soccer, they'd be like, oh, what do you suck at? I suck at passing. Work on passing. Oh, I suck at shooting. Work on shooting. Find out what you suck at and then work on it that way. Come on, that's fire 2 tips.
They are fire 2 tips. I think the big one, guys, when we talk about that YYing dynamic, it's completely useless. I've done movement videos where we're breaking down the 3 simple movements: slide canceling, strafing, jumping while shooting. That's really all you need to be doing. But look, here's what I'll tell you. None of the top players, the Biffles, the Luckies, the Joos, the Hisokas, the Shifties, like you name it, in a pro tournament where they're playing against the best players, none of them do this whole YY thing, because it can hurt you, because your gun's up in the air. It's not where you want your gun to be. It's not efficient when it comes to actually shooting. You don't need to do it. The second thing, very similar to what Knight said, right? Start to focus on why you're struggling. Aim, movement, positioning, gameplay strategy. Aim and movement, the easiest things to get better at. Those are very, very simple with some LTMs like Clash, with some, BO6 practice, which I'll put in the pin comment for you guys. But look, at the end of the day, it's like once we get to that gameplay strategy, we then go into what Jowo said, right? Starting to be more aggressive, starting to, push fights and make mistakes and then learn from those. So let's go ahead and jump in here, guys. Number 8, we've got Booyah on Verdansk, actually, another one who plays both.
I mean, just like a very general sense for somebody new to any battle royale genre, say you're playing Fortnite or just any battle royale in general, is learn the map. So many times people will pick like one landing spots, like say your favorite landing spot's military, and they'll just land military over and over and over and over again, not exploring the rest of the map. I would say like getting map knowledge, spreading out your drop location so you're more familiar with the area and the loot pool and the, where everything spawns is very beneficial.
And I think that's super important, especially when it comes to like outplay potential, breaking lines of sight, jump spots, right? Now, I know just from playing them, like I know Rebirth and Verdansk like the back of my hand. It's a huge advantage when you have that map knowledge, because you understand, not only talking about early game, right? Early game, it absolutely is. Knowing where the loot crates are, knowing kind of where teams like to land so that we can get that loadout down. But even as you're kind of going through the map, let's go back to what Benny said, right? Benny said, always keeping in mind where you can get shot from. Well, if you know exactly where you are, exactly what the buildings look like around you, and kind of where you are in relation to other teams or potentially other teams, right? We can make better decisions based off that. Also really important on Rebirth, understanding how to get to top prison, understanding how to challenge teams who are in grandma's house, understanding all the different ways to finesse in factory. So that map knowledge dynamic really helps with that gameplay strategy when it comes to decision making. Let's go ahead and jump in here, guys, with Adrian. This is a very, very big one. For those of you guys who don't know Adrian, World Series of Warzone competitor multiple years. More importantly, he finished #1 in Fortune's Keep ranked a few seasons back, I guess a while back at this point.
What would you say is the #1 tip to get better at Warzone?
I love how this clip starts, by the way. I mean, guys, it happens to pro players. Just watch.
Probably Joe playing like that right there, bro.
It happens to everybody, guys. It's part of it.
No, I don't watch football. The #1 tip to get better at Warzone. I would say the #1 tip is to play on low sensitivity. I know a lot of people like the flashy TikTok movement, but low sensitivity equals crispier shots and better centering.
Pretty much all, and better centering, right? So now we go back to what Zyro said, because we have more control of our crosshairs. A lot of you guys are over centering, you guys are over flicking, and then because that sensitivity is too high. Most pro players somewhere between like a 1.5 and 1.7, maybe 1.8. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. If all the pro players are around a 1.6 to 1.8, maybe even a 1.5, like set it, get used to it, really start to kind of work on your aim there. You don't need, again, this fast, crazy, flashy movement to be successful. It's a first-person shooter, not a first-person mover here, right? The goal here is to shoot our gun and get kills and control the recoil. We use movement to take less damage, but at the end of the day, we don't need a crazy sensitivity in order to do that. Tip number 10, guys, we've got Ebates here.
I've been asking people.
Who, for those of you guys don't know, is actually a pro Warzone coach. He actually coaches the 100 Thieves Warzone team on both Rebirth and Verdansk.
Ebates question. I've been asking people, what is your #1 tip to get better at Warzone? Dude, honestly, Joe, I feel like it's such an underrated thing in Warzone specifically, but positioning is easily the most important thing that anyone can have. Like any kind of trait or any kind of like skill that anyone can have in Warzone is just positioning. And when I say positioning, I'm not just talking about like where you're rotating, like how you're rotating, stuff like that. I'm saying like when you're set up in fights, are you angling yourself to where, you know, you have the advantage in every single fight? So if you're like on a second story building and you're trying to angle somebody who's in the middle of the open, just trying to isolate people, stuff like that. I think positioning in general is just kind of overlooked, and I don't think people actually take the time to think about where they're standing in fights, in rotations, which way they rotate. Even like something that I mean when I say rotation, like, are you better, you know, running in the middle of the open here to cross to ice houses? Or are you better like taking a route and kind of like going under the bridge, you know, holding the ravine? That's just one of the examples. But when I say positioning, I think a lot of people like kind of like, they just overthink it a little bit. It's such an underrated like character trait, I feel like. But
I totally agree, guys. I totally agree to the point that I am going to be doing a full positioning video on both Rebirth and Verdansk for you guys to really help you understand that dynamic. You know, how do we find cover? How do we approach, right? How do we get a little bit of high ground so we can get a better angle? You know, all of these different things that go into positioning and rotations. So we are going to be doing a full video later, probably in a week or two. Guys, make sure you are subscribed down below for that. Depending on when you're watching, it might already be out. But let's go ahead and jump into community member gameplay number 1, which is on Rebirth Island. So we're going to kick this thing off with Captain Hog here. He's a 1.8 KD player, and he's actually playing some solos, which is a really interesting game mode. It's so unique compared to duos, trios, and quads because we don't get those minimap pings after a kill. So it's all about finding that next enemy, winning your 1v1 fight, and then, of course, being aware for the third-party dynamic. That's tough. That's a tough gunfight loss. Now, at the end of the day, guys, him dying this early really doesn't matter. It doesn't change much of the game because we just fly back in and he didn't have loadout or anything. I think he just lost first shot here. Yeah, he just, look at that difference right there. Because of how fast his TTK is, look at how much he's already down. I mean, he is already down 100 health in this gunfight. That's a really tough spot to be. Obviously, just missed a few shots. I think that enemy did a really good job of pushing back and sliding to cover, kind of playing that head glitch there, which is something we always want to be thinking about. I mentioned this earlier, guys, but if you are looking to get better at Rebirth, I always say this, give me 30 days. So subscribe down below, watch my videos. I promise you will become a better player, and if not, after 30 days, you could always unsubscribe. I totally get it, but I guarantee you that is not going to happen. We've got a SWAT. So we got a SWAT, and I'd be thinking at least grabbing... Yeah, see, here's my thing right here, guys. There's no reason that he should not... Oh, he grabbed the PP919. That was lightning fast that he grabbed that. I didn't even realize he had it. I thought he still had a pistol. What do we got here? Be prepared for the third party. This has got to be guys, this has got to be a quick decision here, regardless of what game mode you play. Like, this is where I talked about in a video the other day, we need to start playing faster, right? Like, at first glance, like, you should be able to start to tell that this is an LC10, this is a SOG. Now, you've got to make the decision. Do I want a green LC10 here, or do I want a purple SOG? But, like, we got to go. We've got to be ready for this next enemy, and you can kind of see, he takes a while, right? He kind of takes, and then he's like, do I want the SOG? Reload, like, okay, we obviously know we need to grab the satchel, and ultimately, I wonder if he even noticed the green LC10 there. But the SOG is still great. People up top, maybe? Yeah. This is the tough part about the SOG. Okay, and this is where we look at something like the LC10 or the C9 that basically has very little recoil. Sometimes it can be hard. Like, I think that's partially him struggling to control that recoil. I think part of that is the SOG just having a crazy amount of recoil with this build. The other thing that I will say, guys, is whenever we're in this head-on 50-50 situation, like, this is worst possible case because you've got to execute perfectly. Like, any missed shots, like, is absolutely going to cost you. And it doesn't matter. That could be a 5 KD player. That could be a 0.5 KD player. When you're in that head-on 50-50 situation, literally anything can happen. That guy can hit accidental headshots. That guy could stray for the first time ever. Like, anything can happen when you're in a head-on 50-50. And we want to try to avoid those as much as possible. So far, no loadout, right? I mean, that's kind of the... We haven't been able to because we haven't won that gunfight, or we kind of needed to win probably 2 or 3 gunfights to be able to get it. But are we going biometric scanner? This should be biometric scanner. There's an orange crate right down below you. Literally right down the stairs. It's right here. Watch. I just caught a quick glimpse of it. 99.9% sure. Yep, there it is. right? So I always say, and I always challenge people, like, these are the things that I see. As you're pushing up here, I saw it right there. As soon as he kind of peeked forward and was looking straight ahead, I saw that little glimpse of orange down below, and I knew that was an orange crate. I don't love this push here. I don't love that. I'm just team loadout, guys. I think loadout is too big of an advantage when it comes to loadout guns, when it comes to perks, when it comes to that comfortability of being able to execute really well, when it comes to, you know, not TTK, because the floor loot TTK and the loadout the floor loot LC10 and the loadout LC10 have the exact same TTK. But all the other intangibles, I think it's just too valuable. And perks. Quick fix, tempered, tracker, scavenger. Where are we going here? There's a guy above, so let's go work it here. Let's go work it. I'd go upstairs. I'd go up the stairs here. You can kind of go. Oh, no. Stop. Stop. Did he do it? Please tell me he goes immediately. Yeah, but why are we going here? We have a good feeling that this guy's up top, right? Like, why are we not going back to Harbor where we're at least a little bit more sure that it's clear, right? Because we were just over there. I mean, you know this guy's right above you here. Now you can't get it. And you have no smoke. Good strafing. Oh my gosh, there's so many. This is solos in a nutshell. There's still the guy above you. No, he's in such a bad position here. This is, by the way, guys, this is something that Zyro talked about. Okay, remember when Zyro, we saw that Omni movement dynamic? Watch him around this corner here. See this little hitch? See how this little hitch right here, where he like kind of turns the corner and then he goes down and then pops up? Watch it full speed again, okay? This is something that we really want to try to be a little bit more fluid with, because you see that little hitch right there? Something that a lot of you guys do struggle with. It's something that you can pay attention to, as Knight said, as Lucky said, you know, when watching your games back. Check that centering, right? Try to remove that hitch as much as you possibly can. You shot your gun so he knows you're there. This is why he should have never gotten loadout here. You know, that's just the gameplay strategy mistake. We knew that somebody was... His strafing does look really, really good. There's no doubt about that he's strafing really well. He needs to see this bag of cash that was outside. Yep. Yeah, we're good there. Where's his perks? Maybe he got a loadout crate. This is, guys, this is the only ping that we get in solos, which is obviously we see the guy flying back in. Also, in duos, trios, quads, this happens as well if a player is playing solo duos, solo trios, solo quads. So, like, when I play solo duos, solo trios, solo quads, when I die, the team or the guy who kills me gets this on the minimap. So just keep that in mind. That if you immediately get a ping and you see it on radar and you're playing a team-based game mode, it means that player is playing solo. Why are we scared here? Why are you scared here? Right? You know the guy flew in. He doesn't have a gun, or he has a pistol. He only has 2 plates. You've got loadout guns. This should be like, as soon as I see this, and as soon as I see him flying back in, there's my next fight. This is the one time in the game, in solos, that we literally get told, here's where to go push next. Right? Outside of having a UAV up. Well, there he is. Maybe that's why I didn't push. Maybe Joe's an idiot. Maybe Joe's an idiot. Okay, what do we got here? 5 kills. Oh, why don't you get your loadout? He's doing a really good job of acting on weapon ping, so I'm very happy to see that. Again, where are we centering here? Where are we centering? Where are we centering? You know what I mean? I'm glad he's at least thinking about it, but... Also, I would still like to see him get perks here. I would still... Especially because he has 2 loadouts up, right? You have... Oh, one guy more down below you. You have 2 loadouts up here. Just go ahead and go ahead and take the one that's right by you. Yeah, these iron sights are so awkward. Yeah, now we're like in this uncomfortable position. Like... Guy above you. There's a jump spot outside. That might be map knowledge. I don't know if he knows about it. Is he above you or down below you? I think he's above. So what would you do here? Right? Like, I don't know where this guy is. A lot of people are like, Joe, how do you always know where people are? Well, like, okay, the jump spot is here, and then you can jump up to the corner of the roof. And I'm just going to go clear the roof. And either this guy's going to be up here, like somewhere over this direction, and I'm going to get the kill, or he's not going to be up there. And like, then now I know that he's not on the rooftop and he's not on this floor that I'm on. So I know he's down below me somewhere, right? That's that process of elimination dynamic. Does he know about it? Yeah, he does. He's just, see how much he hesitates? Like, why not just... Like, what are we afraid of here? Are we afraid of losing the gunfight? Is it an execution issue? He did say that his main goal is improve aim and movement, guys, which I still... Black Ops 6 Clash are the two best. Oh, yep, there he is. That's fine. That is A-okay. Black Ops 6 multiplayer, private match, and Clash are the two best ways. He's just not clearing. Like, he's not trusting himself. I think it has to do with his anticipation as well. Watch. See the hitch again? Look, watch the hitch again. Watch it. He's gonna go right here. See that little hitch right there? Good shots. We win that gunfight. Hit really good high damage areas. A little bit of basic strafing to win that gunfight, but look at the hitch. Boom, right? Where this should be like here or here, right? Not here. Then obviously we are able to get up top there. Really, I mean, his shots look good sometimes, which as a 1.8 KD player, I actually have a video coming on this soon where we really focus on like how to improve at each skill level. Somebody that's a 1.8 KD player lacks consistency. Shots are good sometimes, shots are bad sometimes. Acting on information and decision making is good sometimes. Acting on information and, you know, figuring out your next move is bad sometimes. One guy down below you, over to the right side. Yep, just clear it. So just work it. Oh! That's important. That's an important gunfight to win because you have to feel comfortable just running around and being able to, you know, if you get caught off guard, like, what do you do? Right? And you got to be able to find a way to win that gunfight with just basic movement. That was a really good job of just strafing in there. He obviously created a little window for himself. There's that hitch again. He's over-centering. That's what this is. That's what this is. He's over-centering here. Boom. See? This should be straight down this way. Right? Instead, he's over-centering here. So he just needs to be a little bit softer, and he needs to push it a little bit higher. Which is a bad habit for a lot of you guys. Because you ultimately have to correct that mistake, right? Which then gets really, really tough with how fast the TTK is. A little bit low, but at least he was centered square that time. In the corner. Ooh! Sometimes it's not going to always be pretty, but I don't care. As long as we win the gunfight. As long as we win the gunfight, who cares? Let's go take advantage of... Let's go get a UAV up here. You know what's crazy? He's acting well. I mean, he's piecing together a decent game here for not having UAVs up much of the game at all. And then hold that one. And then grab your loadout. Grab your loadout. Why are we not grabbing our own loadout here? I mean, were we waiting to regain forever? Now, why are we scared here? You know he's above you. You know he's sitting right outside on the stairwell. That's what happens when you get pushed. That's what happens. You waited instead of taking control of that fight. And that's ultimately what ends up happening there is he puts the pressure on you to track. Guys, this is exact. Watch. Watch. Right? There's your missed shots. This right here, him missing shots actually technically is centered out right here. And this guy obviously sliding around him is why this guy wins the gunfight. Because this guy created the window that he needed to ultimately be able to get that kill. And that's the tough part in the balance of pushing versus getting pushed. There's definitely certain times where we want to play positioning and, you know, try to bait the guy into pushing into us and putting himself into a bad position. But that's a close quarters fight, and we put ourselves in a really bad spot there overall to, you know, have that guy use movement and create that window that he needed. Two guys right here. Both down below inside. You have advanced UAV, guys. If you have advanced UAV and you are feeling, like, scared to push, Now, he looks so... Here's the crazy part. You know where he is? Ooh! Here's the one mistake that he made here, guys. I love the fact that his mindset was, hey, let's get this door open. But instead of using the impact nade, shoot it. Okay? So we're going to shoot the door open here, right? Then from there, we go impact nade in to do damage. At which point now we have the first shot advantage here. And now we're in a really good spot to be able to give ourselves the advantage to win that gunfight, right? Instead, we open the door with the impact nade. We basically invite him to push through. And now we're in this head-on 50-50, which he does a much better job tracking that time. Definitely looked a lot better. We're shooting some bodies, baby. We're shooting some bodies. You know who else is shooting? The Noti Gang. Guys, I appreciate the Noti Gang as always. You guys are absolutely insane. Seriously, thank you as always for popping into the videos. Yep, we're going to take free. Hey, not my problem. I don't care if it's COD servers. I don't care if that kid's mom was yelling at him and he got in trouble. Not my problem. I'm taking the kill. One guy down below. We going to info here? Ah, no, up top. Good job, good job, good job. Just chill, just chill, just settle, just settle, just settle. If this guy, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing you have to keep in mind. If this guy pushes you, you're going to hear him. So just chill for a second. Don't make 9,000 decibel footstep sounds on the stairwell here. I don't know where I just pulled decibel from. That was a huge risk, and we clutched it. There's no need. Just chill. Yep, there. That's a decoy. Also, look at the rotation here. Right? Look at the rotation here. We gotta rotate early. We're at 11 kills. Still 9 people left, so unfortunately, dropping 20s in solos is hard because the lobby dies out pretty quick. Much better that time with your centering. Ooh! Little thing I want to highlight here. Watch how he creates distance backwards. Okay, he's going to create distance backwards here. He's going to strafe back and to the left. Okay, if we have a clock here, that's the worst clock I've ever seen. If we have a clock here, he's going to strafe about this way. Watch. See how much distance he creates from here? That keeps his camera open, right? So that makes it so this guy can't get around him and ultimately break his camera. So really good job right there. You just kind of open up that FOV a little bit. Also kind of helps you with that rotational aim assist dynamic because you can keep it smooth. Watch. There's the hitch again, right? Like, where are we aiming? Like this, right? Do you see it now that I continue to point it out? Like this needs to be here. This you need to get around. So sometimes he doesn't get around far enough, and other times he's getting too far around. There he is. He just didn't shoot. I don't know why he didn't shoot. Why are we running here? Shoot the guy. Take your first shot advantage. Right? Any damage that you do in this moment is going to put the pressure on, and that's exactly what this guy does. Look at this. This guy doesn't do a ton of damage. I mean, he does, right? He does probably what, 50, maybe 60, right? But it's not like, you know, we just got caught not shooting, right? This has to be especially him slow playing this, right? He slow plays this well, right? As soon as I see him go this way, this is a hard slide cancel to probably about right here. And then we're going to probably, I mean, honestly, truth be told, I probably anticipate this way and react this way here, right? So I'm anticipating that if we look at this, that based on the fact that he's moving this way from this doorway, that he's going to keep moving this way, which we ultimately know that he stops right here, right? But still, even in this situation, I'm going to anticipate him here, and then I'm going to react here. But the more important thing is he's just caught in attack sprint right here. Like, this just can't happen when we know where an enemy is. And at this point, pressure's on. That's obviously a really, really, really good player right there. And that's how the game ends. A little bit unfortunate. You know, the other thing that we could definitely talk about is kind of rotating early and just getting into zone and just kind of playing it a little bit more patient since this respawn is disabled. But let's go ahead and jump into Verdansk. So for Verdansk, we got some duos here, which, by the way, guys, is probably one of my favorite Battle Royale game modes to play. Duos with a teammate, with comms, is just a ton of fun to play. It's not as chaotic as quads. It's not as scary as solos. So it's just a good balance of everything. Well, let's go ahead and jump in here. They got action. Teammates fighting down below. That's a mistake right there. Yeah, they've got more. So the only thing that I want to really highlight here, guys, is, hey, I'm okay because I'm the exact same way. I hate fighting with a pistol. Like, I'm just not good at getting kills with a pistol, especially early game. So I'm not going to take that fight. But as soon as I find a gun, you know, I don't care what gun it is, the Fang, the Cypher, you know, the Model L, maybe in this situation because it is so close quarters. But as soon as I get a gun, I'm going to find my teammate and help him. I'm not worried about this orange crate because at the end of the day, think about this. This crate right here there's no way that this spits out 4K, which is the cost that it's going to cost you if your teammate does end up dying. Even if he wins Gulag and he dies later, it's going to cost you 4K because you lost Gulag early. So focus on helping your teammate, and then you can worry about that crate right there. Now, these other guys, you can go open that orange crate because these guys are far away, but the ones immediately in the vicinity of, hey, we're in a little bit of trouble here. By the way, I did mention this earlier, guys. If you are looking to get better at Verdansk, I always say this. Give me 30 days. Subscribe down below. Watch my videos. Every single video I do has a Rebirth component and a Verdansk component. And look, at the end of the day, guys, if after 30 days you don't get any better, you can always unsubscribe. I totally get it. But I guarantee you that's not going to happen. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was just mounted there, which means he wasn't strafing, which means he wasn't getting rotational aim assist. You know, I think he's mounted right here. And then, yeah, because then maybe he is. I don't know. He's got to strafe more. Even at mid-range, long-range, guys, when we talk about close-range strafing, it obviously is going to really help you when it comes to making you a harder target to hit and giving you that rotational aim assist. When we talk about medium and long range, like, yeah, it still makes you a harder target to hit, but it's going to really increase that rotational aim assist to really help your accuracy. A lot of people ask, Joe, how do you shoot so straight at long range? Number one, these guns don't have a ton of recoil when we talk about loadout guns. Number two, strafing, right? Any little bit of strafing is really going to help you out. They're just short of loadout here.
We almost got loading money.
Yep, almost got loading money. Good observation. That's obviously what we want.
Yep.
And I'm curious, we're not going to actually be able to see it unless maybe we spectate, forget about it later. But that Breadman dynamic of, you know, making sure we're running perks that really work well together. So in this case, we could go Scavenger, Tracker. As I said, I think Tracker is like the most important perk, especially with that team dynamic of easily live pinging enemies, making sure you guys are on the same page. And then, you know, one guy runs Bird's Eye, one guy runs Ghosts. Throw off some teams of two who kind of push it, assuming it's one, and it actually ends up being two. Plus, you get Bird's Eye to show those ghosted players. So, hostile UAV. It's probably most likely a team that found it out of a crate just because it is a little bit early, but you never know what can happen. You know, anytime I hear enemy UAV overhead, I'm thinking, okay, where's the buy station? Right? Because either they found it out of a crate, and I've got to be worried about it. I don't really know what direction. Or they're coming from the buy station, and I got to be head on a swivel. Good. I like this. I like this on BR. You know, get anything you can. Anything that we can do to be able to get some information.
Actually.
Nothing?
I'll go with the car.
Nothing. Okay. So we got to get loadout here. Okay, teammate. Yep, there we go. Teammate worked over to loadout. Let's go ahead and grab loadout here. Okay, so what do we have? Craig C9. Good. I think this might have been from right before the update when the LC10. But I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, because this buy station moved, I believe. We got Survivor, Sprinter, and Resolute. I don't love... Oh, wait. We might have switched. Survivor, Tracker, Tempered. Okay. Tempered is obviously another good one. I don't think...
Yeah.
Tempered's tough.
I got 35.
3,500. Yeah, we don't really have much for anything else.
Don't do anything. Yeah, don't do anything.
What are these guys doing? Now, obviously, we can track car here. So if car gets out, we can push over.
He was the most wanted.
You know, and when we talk about Battle Royale, guys, this is where we start to think, okay, what's the play style? Right? Are we going to play super aggressive? Are we trying to play a little bit more strategic and balance kills and wins? Are we going straight for the win? You know, but that kind of dictates our decisions when it comes to contracts we're grabbing, rotations, the you know, kind of where we're pushing, which I guess kind of goes into rotations, but like how aggressively we're pushing. So that play style does matter, and it is important to make sure that, you know, you're aware of the play style, but also that your teammate and you are on the same page. I see too many times where one squad member wants to, you know, go for wins and the other squad member wants to go for kills. And obviously those two things just aren't going to mesh well together. So you need to you guys just want to make sure that you are on the same page. Let's see what we're working with here. They might be looting up for Yui here. Okay. Which I'm okay with here. You know, look at this, guys. We still have like, what, 2 minutes left here. It's a little bit tough for me to see. We still have like 2 minutes left in this first circle here. We still got plenty of time.
We could go after.
Did I see a red buyback somewhere? Thought I might have.
Actually, no. Just wait. Because I hear gunshots.
If we hear oh, I did see it. It's straight across. It's in lumber.
Yep. Heard.
Let's pop UAV. Right? Let's pop it here. Let's pop it and see what happens. Right? That's gonna tell us which team to push. They just got loadout over the. Did they get loadout?
Want to push that bounty or no?
He said want to push that bounty, but like, hey, let's pop the UAV, and that's gonna tell us what we want to do. Right? Like that's gonna ultimately determine which way we want to go.
Yeah, you just got it.
Yep. Good observation right there.
Yeah, pop. Under us.
Nice. Okay, let's work. Let's work this guy. No, go.
Another one?
He's not in there. He's not in there.
Can't see him. In the same. Oh, there he is.
See, actually, I don't think he actually saw him there. So there is absolutely zero. Good. There's zero reason that we should not be full sending this guy. There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason that we should not be. As soon as we get this down, this needs to be a converge, guys. Like, first of all, obviously, clearly, I'm going to call him out on it. There is nothing in this building on the minimap right here, right? We know that this guy's to the left side. And more importantly, you and your teammate need to basically just go absolutely push this thing and just put the pressure on. And we also need to remember that there's a team back behind us on buy station here. Because now this guy's away, right? And now we pop the UAV. You know, we got to make sure we loot this kill straight ahead. I would run Scavenger, guys, because Scavenger gives us extra cash. I don't know if he knows that this guy pushed away here. But now we're back in this dead phase where, you know, we didn't got one kill out of that.
I think he shot and then he bounced. He shot and bounced, I think.
We got one kill out of that. The guy's teammate ran away. We didn't push the guys back behind on buy station. So now once again we have a cash flow problem, right? And we have a momentum problem. We never looted the guy that we killed. I don't think.
Good shots on me though. I'm not gonna lie.
We might have. His teammate might have. But
here comes one.
Good live ping by his teammate.
He's going for his shit.
Where? So like, let's start to work this direction a little bit.
I don't see him.
Let's start to kind of push over there and see if we can get a little bit closer. I think they are playing a very passive play style.
Right
Let me see real quick. Let me see his note. Right now, BR duo with a friend of mine. Our biggest struggle this game, I think, was regaining after Gulag. So when we talk about that regain dynamic, but you can feel this lack of kind of piecing together anything and lack of momentum. We're mounted once again. At least we have cover, right? At least we are fighting with that cover dynamic. But you can feel that tenseness.
Like jump shotting.
You can feel that. And we always talk about confidence equals information plus execution, right? Right now, I think they don't feel confident that they can win gunfights, right? Because they have the information. If you feel like if you have the information and you feel like you can win the gunfight, you're going to push that pretty aggressively.
I don't trust this dude.
I don't trust this dude.
Here he comes.
Okay.
Here he comes.
Right? So now we're getting pushed.
Hey, let me go, bro. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go.
He said, let me go, bro. Let me go, bro. We were mounted there for a second.
Leave us alone.
Practice video in the comments, guys. Practice video in the pinned comment. Clash or like team deathmatch, unlimited respawn LTM modes are great. Clash, Plunder, I think there's a new one coming with the Season 4 Reloaded update, or Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Private match. Those are the two best ways to really work on your aim.
Freaking quiet.
Yeah, what is this guy doing?
People everywhere. So freaking scared right now.
But are we gonna slow peek this? Like, fly. If you, yeah, why not? But here's my question. We do this right here, okay? So watch. We slow peek here, and then we go like this. Why not just do the second move initially, right? Why not just do that around that corner? Now, if you get shot at, like, first of all, we need to center and anticipate well. But then, you know, if you get shot at, you've got your teammate try to react and get back.
I think he ran.
And put yourself in a better position where your teammate can help you. Centering randomly. Oh, there he is. Wrong gun. I mean, that's it. This is just not, that's just not C9 range. That's just not the range for the C9. That's got to be Krieg. Uh-oh. Down they go. And here's the other thing, guys. Just don't over-challenge this, right? Well, I don't care if this guy's, again, 0.5 or 5 KD player. I don't care. When you get shot like that, okay, so we're a little aggressive. We re-challenge, right? Like, at some point, you got to say, hey, I've got to get behind cover and plate up here. I'm not going to win this gunfight. Like, the only way you guys lose this almost immediately is if you go down. So just don't go down in that situation. It's not like he got caught off guard. He was just over-aggressive in the head-on 50-50. Let's watch Gulag. I'm anticipating straight through this way here. Oh, that'll work. I have one note. Oh! I have one note. Get this around this wall here, right? Because he's mostly, if he's going to sit somewhere, he's going to sit in this back corner here, right? Or we bounce it off this wall here, and we try to get it to bounce, like, literally to the same exact same exact spot you are on the opposite side, right? So either go off wall and bounce it, or get it into this back corner here, and then go from there. Oh. Okay, so we have loadout here at least. Teammates back. Both won Gulag. That's a W. That is a W. I'm okay with him landing far here and rotating over. It's a little bit risky, especially because people love to sit in these hills in farmland. Wild. But Battle Royale is a different beast. People love to play edge of zone. People love to, hey, we just need to get out of the open here. We just need to go somewhere.
Get out of here.
Yep. Yep, I agree. Just get out of there. Just get somewhere that gives us a little bit of cover.
I think that's,
and then at this point, our first priority is plates.
That's where we died.
Right?
Where we're heading to right now.
Yeah, first priority is plates.
That factory, I think, right?
Make sure that we have it. We can at least win some gunfights here. Perfect. We don't need max plates. We just need some plates. And then from here, guys, regain-wise is 1 kill. Okay, so 1 kill starts to get us some momentum back, you know, with a little bit of cash flow. Again, scavenger is a huge advantage, which we should be running. But usually one kill gets us going again with momentum, and that's what we're kind of looking for.
Oh my god, I keep on hitting the window.
Long rotation here. Let's watch their rotation here. See what we got. Fire sale. We don't need the most wanted. We don't need the most wanted. We don't. That's just not a contract. Guys, most wanteds are for immediately early game or desperate situation to get your teammates back where you have no cash and you need 2 or 3 enemies because now they're in a really bad spot. They're out in the open. Oh, he literally sniped the guy out of the car. So I'm not going to say it's lucky because it was obviously a really, really, really good shot. But like they were out in the open getting pushed by 2 enemies in a vehicle. So, you know, there's no need to grab a most wanted. I understand the thought process of doing a contract, but there's no need to do a contract like this and put ourselves on radar in this situation. You know, go find a different contract to do. Again, early game immediately to get cash flow going initially while we're looting up. or late game when you have
and
no
we're
other
on
option to
UAV.
get your teammates back. Because obviously, if you
Oh, yeah,
complete a
and you're
most
a
wanted,
most
you get all your
wanted, too.
teammates back. And look, here's the other thing. Notice that
me.
they are not taking any. They're barely taking time off of this thing. In early game, because we're looting up crates so fast, we can do the most wanted super quick. It's just too risky to do in this moment. It's just too risky to do in this moment here. We're at 3 kills. I don't know how many his teammate has. We got car. We got to be careful because we got to keep pushing in. Okay, let me let this run for a minute.
Honest, right here,
Good live ping.
right here. 2 of them.
He's mounted again. I think he's relying too much on being mounted. Notice the difference there with him getting inside that time. Right? That's not what he did the first time in that situation.
Yep.
The first time he died, he did the exact opposite, and he over-challenged. No, yeah, that's not...
I need marks.
His teammate said, I need marks, which was good. Hey, what are you shooting at here? Give me some
trying to
comms.
get
But they're going to have to... I mean, we're out of ammo here.
a view. No way, bro.
It's just a really bad situation.
He's gonna push us.
I don't think he's going to push you. I think he's going to stay comfortable in that building, and he's not going to move.
Here's a plate.
Yep.
Here.
We're going to have to... I mean, man.
I have no ammo either.
No, we got no ammo. We got no extra plates. We got a most wanted on us.
No.
We're not in zone.
Not yet.
I mean, this is just a really
Crack.
bad position to be in, and we kind of put ourselves in it. You know what I mean? That's
Crack
I
one.
think the big thing is we kind of put ourselves. Now, one thing we can do right here on minimap, guys, is rotate all the way around and try to swing hard left. Oh, we got to knock. We got to knock. Go back to your Craig. 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 The C9's drop off is like 15 meters. You are shooting at like 40 meters. Right? So, and this is an area that a lot of you guys struggle, which is like understanding what gun to have out. You've got to rotate. You got to go now. You got to go. Don't challenge this guy. He's got to push right to you.
Where?
See, that's 37 meters.
Crack.
This is C9. Or sorry, that's
Yeah.
Craig. That's got to be Craig range there.
Oh, smoke. Or gas.
Yeah, I would love to see him work on understanding what gun or having the correct gun out in certain situations.
that
I think
fucking
in that
vehicle.
first gunfight that he lost, that he ended up dying to and sending him to Gulag. Whoa. What are we doing here? Guys, this is get into zone. This is, you cannot rotate. You know there's 1 to 2 teams over to your right side here.
We need
Why
that
are we
fucking
pushing
vehicle.
straight into them? You know, this is one... dude, if this works out for them, I'm going to be so mad. That's just a very
Go.
risky play. That's just
I have
really,
no
really
ammo.
risky. Yeah, we've got no ammo. We have no extra
fucking
plates.
Dude, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. Maybe
Oh,
like
hold
one
on,
of these
hold on,
bounties.
hold on. Just drive here in this situation,
Alright.
and just wait
We
to
have
see what
no
happens
ammo
with
or
the next
nothing.
circle.
They're gonna be there.
But you guys have $10,000, so we do at least have
There's
cash flow
nothing.
here.
We
We
are
can
so
go
cooked.
grab muni
They're
boxes.
gonna
We
be
can
waiting
buy
for
plates.
something.
Grab muni box, a self revive, and then fill
Have
up the
no
rest with
ammo or
plates. That's what I would do.
nothing, bro.
Muni box, which is muni box plus self revive should be $8,000,
Oh, no,
and then you
dude,
buy
this is
plates for
gonna
the
be a
rest.
shit show.
Where are we going here? I mean, we know there's people prison. Okay, so what do we buy here? What do we got? Muni. Good. Yep.
What'd you got?
Oh, guy back behind you. Guy back behind you. Guy back behind you. Guy back behind you.
Yep, I'm dead.
No way that timing. No way that's what happened. That timing. Dude, you cannot make up that COD timing. You cannot make up that COD timing. Okay, what do we got here? We have no plates. We gotta like loot up. There might be plates like over here. This is where, guys, we gotta solve the problem, right? We gotta look in here and see if there's any plates. Like, we've gotta find plates somewhere in this situation. People are just, I mean, you gotta assume that people are in every single part of prison. Like any stairwell, any doorway, You know, you got to be ready for enemies because not only do people like to play here, but they like to just camp here. Pushing up top. Yeah, I mean, we know there's people up top there.
There you go.
I mean, you're never going to get
On the
that down
bottom.
right there. That's just never going to happen.
Mount, 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 mount.
You're just
There you
never going to get that kill. That's just too far. It's not even worth shooting your gun.
Oh, is somebody close to you?
Somebody close?
Yep,
Where?
stairs.
Might have no choice but to try to get this kill.
Oh, no, no, that was you shut the door.
Might have no choice but to
one
try
in
and
the
get...
air, one in
Yep,
the air.
flying. Like, is it worth the ammo? He's 1A!
Oh, Louis. Oh, Louis.
Oh, Louis.
Oh, Louis. Louis, don't clip that. Don't clip that, dude.
Louis getting exposed in the YouTube video. Sorry, Louis. But that's, guys, aim's the easiest thing to get better at. Uh-oh. Shot from up top. That's where we need to find plates.
Now you really have no plates. There's a box right under you to your right.
We gotta find plates here. Gotta find some plates here. One plate. No way.
Fucking plates.
There's just no plates anywhere. One guy down below over there. I mean, you just know. The first thing that we have to do here is find plates. We've got to be able to look. We got to find it. But notice we're not like looking, right? We're just.
Close. He's underneath. He's going for the buy.
Yeah, but there's people everywhere. There's people everywhere. Nice.
Oh, get that money.
No!
Get that money. Oh, God.
That's where there's people everywhere. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.